Alright, welcome back to the channel, the DIY Plus channel. I'm going to continue with some of your comments and responses. As I promised, I would try to catch up and keep up with the responses and comments and so forth that come in. So picking up where I left off in April, I'm going to pick up with Michelle Landis 2144 related to the do-it-yourself oil and filter change on the Yamaha Royal Star Venture. You wrote, you will much more enjoy using Shell Rotella T6. Read the fine print on the back of the bottle. Yes, it's JSO MA2. A gallon jug at Wally World is about $23. T6 is the toughest oil on the planet. Well, I appreciate that comment, and I have heard that often, that people do use the Shell Rotella T6 for these bikes and also for other vehicles, and I don't disagree with you, but I have just stayed with traditional motor oil manufactured for the bikes. But thank you for your comment. This is from Emota Calvinist related to the Kawasaki Vulcan headlight modulation. And you asked me, while facing the bike, which way do you turn to loosen? Mine is so tight. Well, left loose, right tight. This is from Antonio Villanova 308 regarding my video on Casita travel trailer awning extension and retraction. You wrote, you converted a small enclosed utility trailer. You've really been looking at the Casita. They're small, towable, and quite nice. Yes, they are. I purchased my Casita in 2018. It is a super nice fiberglass shell trailer. And for those of you watching my channel that are not familiar with Casita, they are travel trailers manufactured in Rice, Texas. They're not sold through dealer networks. You buy them directly. And they're just super nice fiberglass. They're roughly 17 feet in size. You've seen several videos, or if you search my playlist, you'll find several videos I've done on my Casita travel trailer. And we often use the Casita. We also use a Winnebago Itasca Navion, which has also been pictured in the videos. So, but thank you for the comment. I've got many more comments. I'm not going to go through and share them again related to the QFX Rim 10. I get those almost daily. This is regarding my Honda panniers for the Africa Twin from Cartman VB. You said, considering to buy ones for my AT, but what concerns me is their carry weight. Specs say they carry 6 kilograms max per case. Did you pack more weight in them? Well, no, I installed them and I gave that bike to my son, and he doesn't pack very much weight at all. So I'm not sure about exceeding that weight, but I know that in most things that I carry, I try to stay within the weight limits. And this is from Brian Crosby 5098 related to the DIY I did on the Royal Star Venture carburetor maintenance. You said, once you start chasing no spark demons and ECU codes that just flip-flop around, suggesting $1,000 of new parts and labor on an FI bike, only to finally swap out a $7 FN connection that bench tested just fine, you'll be happy to have carbs. Ethanol is also pure HELL on injectors and causes far more long-term damage when they go wrong. Well, Brian, I think what your point you're making is that you appreciate having a carb bike, and most everything now is fuel injected. And carb bikes are great bikes if you maintain them. You have to keep those carbs serviced and clean, as you know. So appreciate your comment. This is from Corey Foster 7322, related to my Kawasaki Vulcan Voyager 1700, the Shark Road exhaust upgrade I did, and did videos on that upgrade. You said great value at 18K, love mine. Yes, the Vulcan Voyager is a nice bike, as I commented last month. The only problem is that Kawasaki has failed to stay up with the modern radio systems and electronic stuff that you see now on new bikes. And otherwise, it's a fine bike, no doubt about it. This is from DUDEH regarding my ham radio HF band activity video. And you wrote, 25 years ago I used to listen to CB radio. I could hear broadcasts from all over. That wasn't in. This is now, everything's changed. All the rules are different now. We have to not pay attention to what is real. Well, I also was an early CB person and migrated and obtained my licenses, and so you see my videos related to amateur ham radio. It's a great hobby, and I primarily do those videos to encourage people to get interested in it. It can be very technical, but if you like to learn, it's a new area to learn in, and then you certainly can make loads of new friends. I found that during COVID, we were back to back. I mean, ham radio had a resurgence during COVID because people were at home and locked in, and I found a whole host of people that had not been on ham radio or that were now renewing their licenses, or we had a lot of new people come along. I like to keep encouraging people to go ahead and get your licenses for ham radio and come join the party. So thanks for the comment. This is from Screen Mobile of St. Charles, related to my DIY video on the Yamaha Royal Star Venture relocating the fuel filter. You said to save a lot of work, just take a long flat screwdriver and push the fuel filter boot to the left off the bracket and lift up the filter. No need to do all that extra work from the side cover. Okay, well, I appreciate that comment. Again, if you have a better or quicker way, that's fine. And I'm glad that you got something out of the video. And this is from Ken Juice, KRAJEWSKI 9577, related to my DIY on adding Bluetooth audio to the Vulcan 1700. You said, what does the adapter do differently than keeping the iPod connected? Well, that is the primary purpose of it, to give you that iPod capability on the Vulcan 1700. As I said, that's the weakness in the Voyager, is that it has not kept up with the current state, like Apple Play and so forth. And then Kawasaki has discontinued that adapter. This is related to my DIY on installing motorcycle speakers from Brody Richard 263. You said you purchased the Boss 520 speakers with an amp for your 2015 Street Bob. I'm just worried about battery drains, and also where to install the amps, so I don't know exactly how to find and properly wire into the ignition switch wire, or maybe just do a toggle switch. I just don't know what I should do. Well, you can see in my installation video that I was very careful in installing, in that installation of doing a detailed protection installation for your bike, and it was tied directly into the ignition switch, so with the ignition off there's no power. So whatever you're going to install, you need to find that ignition switch so that when you turn it off it cuts the power to everything. But thank you for your comment. This is another one on the same topic from the same person. He also, would it hurt to just cut away the excess wire and just get rid of it and only make it as long as you need to reach and just scrap the rest? Absolutely. They give you more than enough wire, because these can be installed on any motorcycle, and so you can cut those to fit. This is from Pro Home videos on the DIY I did on the Bigfoot auto leveling system for your RV. And you wrote, "Good basic overview, thanks." And I appreciate that. I have installed the Bigfoot leveling system a couple of times on motorhomes, welded them on, and I've had to do repair work on those, so I know a little bit about installation and operation. This is related to another DIY video on the E-Z-GO golf cart cranking but not starting video, and I talked about priming the fuel pump, and Gary Gray 5107, you wrote, "You've got a rather big kink in the hose coming off of the fuel filter." And that's correct. I saw that and I cut that out. That was not the problem, but once I had it primed, it worked perfectly. DIY Honda top case installation for Africa Twin from J.R. Klein. Hi, can you share where you buy this top case? Well, that's the original Honda, and I bought it from the Power Sports out of Louisville, Kentucky. And if you'll DM me, I'll give you that link. I thought I might have put it in the comments or something, but if not, if you'll DM me or something, I'll send that to you. This is another also related to the Kawasaki T-Rex fuel vent modification video from GZ4896. You said you had your mod filter in the engine computer or comp and decided to move it up the roll cage. I was riding along on a warm day and gas was somehow coming up the tube through the check valve somehow and got the filter, same as yours, soaked in gas. I've taken the check valve out to allow the tank to breathe and will be installing a rollover valve. Alright, and thanks for your comment. This is from M3 Explorer 159 regarding my modifications to the e-bike carrier rack for the Ingwe EP2 Pro hitch mount that I did a video on, the electric bike, and you wrote, "Well done." So thank you much for that comment. Dave672 on my video on mowing in reverse for the John Deere 1025R, that mod I did. You said on your 217 you've gotten used to holding the PTO knob before going in reverse to prevent shut-off, but this would be much more convenient. Also note it only does this for the mid PTO with only the rear PTO engaged. It doesn't auto shut off, which I think is odd but welcome. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was a real nuisance for me when backing up for it to kill the PTO. From Phil Streeter 9703 regarding my modification on the John Deere X350 mowing in reverse DIY. You said thanks for the handy tip. Appreciate it. Same comment from Gord Baker 896. You said the seat switch has a similar setup. Jumper it diagonally. Okay. This is from Tom JX9TE related to the quick steering adjustment on a Yamaha Royal Star Venture. I did a video showing how to do a quick adjustment. And you wrote, "The jack adapter is nice, but it's not necessary. I jack my bike up all the time using that same basic jack, using 2x4s and other chunks of wood that I can show you a photo if you want, but it's pretty straightforward. There's also loops for you to use straps so that the bike can't tip over." I think that you meant that for the jack adapter video, not this video, but thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. And regarding the Honda recall that I posted a video about on the second recall, they now have a third recall. Mark Fowler 5577 said your letter reads differently from mine. You had a 2018, specifically parts will not be available until July at the earliest. He also added that the CBR line is equally affected, so are 19 to 23 Can-Ams. My dealer right now has a dead CBR 600 waiting for the pump, so it's going to take a while. It's possible. My wing is a 6MT, not a DCT. That may have made a difference. And regarding the Yamaha Royal Star frame that I purchased from eBay, Extreme or X says that these are no longer available on eBay. It was a person here in Tennessee selling them. I did a video on a review of an LED helmet light for a motorcycle helmet. Gary Hooper 1820 said you found them on AliExpress and you were going to buy a pair. Very well. Upgrades to the Royal Star Kawasaki Voyager 1700 Suzuki C90. That was a video on 3 different bikes and just a general discussion about some of the upgrades. And Riding to Nowhere wrote, moved to Texas so you could help me with the Royal Star. Well, we get a lot of comments and a lot of questions, I know, related to these bikes and servicing and all. And like I said before, I have a service manual in my shelves here. I have service manuals on all the bikes and four-wheelers and stuff that I've serviced on the channel. And in servicing them, I follow the details of the service manuals. Let's see. There's some more general comments related to the E-Z-GO golf cart, which I've answered before. I get a lot of questions and responses related to that series I did on the E-Z-GO golf cart. Thousands and thousands of people have viewed them, and I appreciate that. Hopefully it's been helpful. Trailer safety chain holder bracket I did a video on, and this is from Crimson Bites. Said just don't be unsafe if the tongue comes off the ball. It will hit the pavement like this. That's why you cross your chains. I think what he's referring to is when you hook up safety chains for towing purposes, it's traditional that you cross them. This is how to perform a steering adjustment on the Yamaha. Another comment from Riding to Nowhere: how much you charge to make me a brace. Not good with tools. Well, I'm not making tools and selling them, unfortunately, but I appreciate the question. Regarding Honda, Yamaha, Triumph, Kawasaki, Suzuki, generally all the Japanese bikes and a lot of the vehicles, I did a video about crush washers that you should keep on hand. And so Scott Hooper 4170 said thank you for that. I'll pick some up this week. I'm taking my T-Rex in for his checkup and first oil change. I plan on doing them myself afterwards for as long as I can, but I also have a brute force that needs an oil change. So I appreciate your comment. Here is another do-it-yourself for the Vulcan Voyager 1700 LED light upgrade. Do you need new mounting rings? I did buy the mounting rings. I found those rings on the forum, the Kawasaki forum. There is a vendor that sells those. Here is from Anthony Makeley regarding my power steering filter that I installed on the Chevy Silverado. You said in 70 years you'd never seen a filter on the power steering, but our 2004 Silverados had 2 gearboxes replaced. Both of them have blown the seals out of the bottom because it's a light duty gearbox that matches up 2002. Well, very good. I think that's a testimony of why a power steering filter is worth installing. And that is similar to the problem I found with my Chevy Silverado. The incessant leaking and grime that builds up from the power steering components. So I installed a filter to resolve that issue and give me longevity. There are many more comments. I will keep trying to respond to these timely. I appreciate you sending me comments or questions or responses. I thank you for coming to the channel. Please subscribe if you like. Continue to leave your comments, and until next time, may you have a safe time, and we'll see you on the next video.